What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Mosley, and that's the one and only. It is Scott Savage. Scott, happy Thursday, dude. We're almost Friday.
Yeah, we're almost through the week now. It's funny. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes you blink and it's gone. But Did you play any Warzone yesterday?
I did play Warzone last night. Kyle and I jumped on. We had a good time. We had some unfortunate moments. Welcome to Warzone. Yeah, the best we were able to place last night was 12th, which is not very good.
Oh, okay.
But we were getting there. We were getting better a little bit each round. And then, yeah, dude, I came back from the gulag a couple times. Not too bad. The handguns are the worst. I suck at the handguns.
So. Yeah, I like to get the biggest, longest sniper rifle and take the scope off. That's my turn.
Man. We are getting picked by guys way up on like this massive skyscraper, and I had no idea where they were. Kyle goes, "Yo, they're up." I went, "Wow, he is up there," and he's like launching these like almost like sticky grenades thing. Oh, dude, it's like, wow, man. Some of these players are a whole other level, but we had a good time. We had fun. We played for I don't know, at least an hour or so last night. It was a good time.
I've only gotten one game in myself, but it was a lot of fun. I came 7th, but
that was my first round playing, I think it was last night. So yeah, Kyle had played one game before that, and then we jumped in. Yeah, lots to learn still, lots to kind of figure out. I'm learning all the weapons because I'm not a Warzone player. So for me, I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what's the best weapon? And it's so weird because I'm just so used to PUBG where you go and then you equip different attachments and stuff. Dude, it's whatever you get, it's what you get and away you go, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, how do I just need to go find a better weapon? And then I found a sniper. Kyle's like, you want a sniper rifle? Yeah, I do. And dude, it was what a sound coming off that thing. It's so sad.
That's what I love. You know, it's a good gun when it sounds like a car door slamming.
Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm looking to get into the DMZ mode. Haven't tried that out yet. And a couple other things. Dude, the menu system. I'm not a fan of the menu system here for the new COD at all.
I've heard that complaint, but I'm not really sure I get it yet.
Not feeling it. I'm like, where is it? Like it popped up with this. Here's what's new. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then I'm just so automatic to hitting B to go back, or close that screen down and then get into the next thing. Man, it kicked me right back to the very beginning of the opening game, and then you had it A, and then it loads in. It's just
yeah, that menu. I thought you meant the in-game pickup items. No, the main menu is pretty awful.
The main menu is horrible. Why is it that we have to hold X to pick up the weapon? Why can't I just smash my X button and pick everything up?
Yeah, you know what? The X button isn't used for anything else. That would be okay. Though, if you reload, oh no.
Yeah, big deal, right? It can be a big deal.
I guess.
It's just I open up the crate. I want to be able to tap and pick everything up. Instead, I got to hold down the X button to pick up, and then sometimes I just walk into ammo and it automatically picks up. A couple little tweaks I wouldn't mind seeing in there, Scott. But people can tweak us over on twitch.tv/theofficialitg, as well as YouTube at ITG at 11 a.m. Eastern, live Monday to Friday. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later. Inside the Game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, one of the hot topics right now is God of War. God of War developers are working on their next game. What are they creating next? Perfect Dark's development is going well. This is according to Crystal Dynamics, and Elden Ring reaches a new milestone. Scott, and if we get there,
I'm not terribly surprised by the Elden Ring one, but
no, not
I am
at all.
happy to hear anything about Perfect Dark.
Yeah, very much so. It's long overdue. How long ago was that announced?
As long as it's not their cancellation. I want to say 2018, but I could be thinking of Fable. Unless those were the same presentation now. Funny, as the years go, my memory just all blends together.
Yep, absolutely. One day just blends into
the
next.
I got N64, I went to sleep, and that was yesterday now.
Dude, let's get into it. This is from comicbook.com, Mr. Mark himself. Sony Santa Monica Studio just released God of War Ragnarok, but it seems the developer is already looking towards the future. In an interview with Los Angeles Times creative director of video game development, Corey Barlog, teased that the team is spread out on a lot of different things. Unfortunately, Barlog did not go into any further details about those things, or specifically mention what the developer will be working on next. However, fans should be happy to know that the team's influence on PlayStation will be felt in a number of different ways. God of War Ragnarok director Eric Williams followed Barlog's comment by teasing that the further adventures of Kratos could remain the team's primary focus. Quote,
I thought they were coming to a draw. We're coming to an end, but I haven't played the game, so I don't even want you to comment on that.
I have so much to say. I remember talking to someone from another game company where they were trying to get me to leave. They said, "Do you just want to be known as a God of War guy for the rest of your life?" Yeah, I'm okay with this. Dude, if I was in
this... Sounds like something Cliffy B would say, though.
Like, man, that's not a bad thing at all. Yeah, that was their big pitch to dissuade me. Because, yes, I kind of do. Williams told the Los Angeles Times that should come as It's good news, God of War fans. This series has been a big success for Sony, and it's clear that its continued success is important to the company. Of course, it will likely be a long time before fans see any kind of announcement or any other God of War in the years to come, Scott. I think we're going to be a ways off now, probably looking at the closer to the end of the life cycle of PS5, if we get another God of War by then.
Yeah, I really wasn't expecting there to be another one, just because I thought, well, they've dropped 2 kind of in the recent memory. I wasn't sure if it was going to go to 3, but well, then again, commercial sales really dictate all of this, and it sold.
It sold massive numbers. It is actually, I saw stats just the other day saying it's the biggest game over in the UK right now, outselling Elden Ring, actually. Elden Ring and what was the other title? It was 2 titles combined. And I was like, wow, dude, it did huge numbers over there in the UK, which is cool. But God of War, oh man, what a game. Like, I'm still working on the platinum. It's just, this week's been a little busy. So
yeah, a little bit. You can say that again.
Speaking of, too, go check out our Frozen Flame preview. It is live right now over on our our YouTube channel. Scott and I have been playing that one. Make sure you go check that out. That was a ton of fun. But yeah, getting back to God of War, dude, I want to talk so much about God of War still, but I know it's so early that I don't want to spoil anything. Leading up at the end of the game, there are a bunch of directions that they could go, and one kind of made me just kind of go, just maybe, right? So there's a lot of that.
There's still a lot of Native American mythology that's has yet to feel the wrath.
Well, they said that, they being Santa Monica Studios, said this is the end of the Norse mythology, right? And they're wrapping it up here. This is it. This is why they didn't spread it out over 3 games. They wanted 2 larger games, and that's it, and not go to a trilogy formula. Instead, kind of switch things up, which I was very thankful for, because it wrapped up the story. But at the end, you know, they always leave that with a little bit of enticing kind of, this could happen, or this could happen, or that could happen. So there's a lot of that kind of going on. But wow, man. Yeah, if anybody's doing a spoiler cast, I'd love to join. That's for sure.
What do you think the next, if there were a new God of War comes out, let's say 2 years from now, how far do you think they go through mythology? What's the next area? Do we go to Shinto Buddhism? Do we go to some of the African faiths? Do we do Native American? There's so many options.
They
South American ones with names I cannot pronounce.
Dude, they get in the Viking time period and follow Valhalla around. There is a whole that, like, there's so much they could do. They could stick with this, right? They touch on Valhalla here throughout the game a lot. Well, obviously we see Odin in the game and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that already there. Do they leave that behind, or they kind of go on like a bit of a side story with it? So I can't talk about the ending, right? That's what they say.
I'm worried they're going to go too far and jump the shark, doing some sort of science fiction made up mythology or something. I don't want to do that.
Gotcha. No. I think as much as they said they're done here, I don't know. I kind of like this era. I like what they've created, right? What could they do next? With Asgard, Valhalla, and so many other things. This North mythology thing, they said it's done, but you kind of question whether or not they truly are finished with it at all.
Egyptian mythology. There's one.
Oh, man. Dude, Assassin's Creed Origins, they did it right. I know a lot of people. Some people are a little mixed on it. I personally loved it. It's still one of my favorites as of recent years for Assassin's Creed. But man, oh man. Yeah, God of War. I'd love to talk more about it, that's for sure. But yeah, the ending really kind of has me questioning what happens next. I was talking to my oldest with one of his friends about what we think the future of God of War is going to look like, and we mentioned, like, he even thinks possibly this is the end of Kratos. Like, do they just move on now? So but it doesn't sound like moving on from God of War at all. Sounds like we're getting more, but we do know that Cory Barlog himself is actually working on something else. That's the other side of it, right? So
that has me excited.
Yeah, it does. So I think we're in for a new IP coming out from Cory Barlog and the team over at Sony Santa Monica. But I think we'll have 2 teams. One, whatever.
You just reminded me. Do you think we're ever going to see Heavenly Sword again?
Oh man, we should. Like, honestly, we really should.
I remember that being actually really solid.
It was Team Ninja, I believe, that worked on that game, and it was fantastic. That was a really good game. I loved it. And yeah, I don't know if dude, that was PS3 days. Like, that's 2 generations ago, and that was a launch title. So, like, will we see more of that? That's a good question. I think really it's up to PlayStation whether or not they want to revitalize some of this. Like, hello, Jack and Daxter. Still calling for it. Like, come on. So, yeah, we'll see.
Resistance. I think it was the 16-year Resistance anniversary, either today or yesterday. That would have
Really?
been the time to announce. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been for sure. But something they're working on and announcing a little bit of, or more or less kind of teasing. Crystal Dynamics claims Perfect Dark development is going extremely well, Scott. Embracer Group also provides updates on Tomb Raider and Guardians of the Galaxy. Because if you haven't heard, Embracer Group bought a whole bunch of Square Enix properties and companies and studios and stuff. So, yeah, a lot of change in hands. Scott, this is a long one. This is Tom Ivanov VGC. So buckle down. Crystal Dynamics has claimed that its co-developed development work on Xbox's Perfect Dark reboot progressing is extremely well. That's according to Crystal Dynamics and IDOS CEO Phil Rogers, who provided an update on the project during parent company Embracer Group's earnings calls on Thursday. It was announced on September 2021 that Xbox has signed Crystal Dynamics to co-develop Perfect Dark, which is the debut game from Microsoft's new in-house studio, The Initiative. Quote, "We're working on the iconic Perfect Dark game, and the project is going extremely well," Rogers said, which was transcribed by VGC. What's been so promising internally is seeing how our team took this opportunity, a new way of working. We think about the future of how we work, collaborations across studios, across time zones, across geographies. That's what it says. Across different companies will all become more common. So it's great to see the team at The Initiative and our team across Crystal Studios working so well together. Scott, what are your hopes here for Perfect Dark?
Oh, I like the idea of including different perspectives and stuff. I don't want anybody to get locked down, or just, I want there to be an open discussion. How much do we embrace Perfect Dark 2? That was unfortunate. And what do we do that's new? So I think as long as we get a lot of different perspective on that, I think it'll work out really well. I'm stuck though. The Initiative is the title of their new in-house development studio.
Yep.
Why not Datadyne?
Yeah.
Datadyne's like one of those names. It's like Abstergo. It lives in my memory for some reason.
That's fair. I remember when Initiative was first announced, they had this almost stealth like trailer that reminded me so heavily of Splinter Cell. It was a person climbing up a skyscraper. Dude, it looked amazing. It's like, what are they working on? And then they announced Perfect Dark. I'm like, never played Perfect Dark, so this is gonna be my first time playing. So I'm looking forward to getting in.
Oh, I've got it on N64. You ever want to swing by?
Fair enough. Brian joins us once again over on YouTube and said, "Twisted Metal is my dream." Well, we're getting something. Brian, hey, let me ask you this, Brian. Are you looking forward to the Twisted Metal TV series?
Yeah.
Right? It could be. Who knows?
There's something. There's several movies, I believe, and I haven't watched any of them myself, but I've heard only good things about Twisted Metal.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know.
I was more of a Vigilante 8 kind of kid.
That's hilarious. I haven't heard about that game forever. That is funny. Wow. His comments echoed those of Xbox Game Studios boss Matt Booty, who said in September that the days of single studios working on large-scale games are long gone. This is why we often see Ubisoft, I think, Scott, with 36 studios branching across the world, working together to create a Assassin's Creed title, right? Something of that scale. Yeah, it's pretty common, I think, these days to partner up and work together to get more done in a shorter time period, so the game isn't 7-8 years out from getting released. Instead, we're closer to maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 5, right? So I don't know about that, but it could be cool. Fair enough. Yeah, time will tell.
Can Embracer Group buy up Arcane? Can we free up some of these IPs, please? Yeah, I don't mind. I don't really much worry about who's making it at this point.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that's for sure. There's also a couple other things going on as well. Here, Crystal Dynamics said in April that the next Tomb Raider game had entered development using Unreal Engine 5. Quote, "Our partnership with Epic Games and the integration of Unreal Engine 5 into our development toolchain really lets us push storytelling to new levels," Rogers said. We've not yet released any details yet about franchise plans, but the team is excited to show where we're headed as soon as we can next year, Scott. More Tomb Raider on the rise. That's pretty cool. Still gotta go back to finish the trilogy, man.
That was a very good use of words. Rise of the Tomb Raider is one of that trilogy, I believe.
I know. Thanks. Nailed it. Did my job today, Scott. I'm going home early.
Have you played those games? I can't recall now.
So I've started the first one over and over and over again, and then I got swept into a bunch of reviews, and I got to put it aside. It's just crap, right? That is one of those. It's on my backlog of shame, because that is a series that I've followed my entire life, dude. I played the originals back on PC, so I've been there from day one with the Tomb Raider franchise, and it is one of those. Man, I really enjoyed the reboot. I really did. I was having a good time. Man, those wolves, it really kind of... I have a thing with wolves. I don't know what it is. It's like a love-hate relationship. But they can be really, really spooky at times, right? And it kind of got me a little bit, but it was really cool to kind of see the evolution of Tomb Raider. But as I said, as I was in the middle of the game, I just got pulled away in other reviews, and I just haven't been able to make it back. And they keep hearing year after year, because they opened it up a little bit, right? It was always such a linear path for most parts of it. And they opened it up to be a more of an explorative area, but the end goal being kind of somewhat linear. So they almost
Ubisoft it,
kind of
like where they collectathon, for lack of a better explanation. But they add a bunch of stuff: an open world, a bunch of icons, climb the tower to unveil the area around you, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. It was cool. It's man, I gotta get back to it, Scott. I don't know if it'll ever happen.
The cinematic deaths too. It's worth messing up every single QTE, because they're so brutal.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very cool. Rogers also said last year's Guardians of the Galaxy game from Audace Montreal recently hit new player milestones. Our award-winning Guardians of the Galaxy game just celebrated its anniversary, and with that, we've passed the 8 million player count. We've seen great engagement from players, with the title entering into Game Pass, Scott, and PlayStation Plus quite recently. So,
is that a quote? Somebody complimenting the commercial viability of Game Pass? That's funny. But yeah, absolutely. I know where you're heading with that. Everybody who's watched this, I think, You're one of the 8 million players, are you not?
Absolutely. Well, okay, so we played it for review. We had it a bit early, but dude, I'm a big Game Pass supporter. I think we all are here on the show.
This one.
What?
I haven't played this one. I know.
Speaking of that,
it was unfortunately
backlog
it was
shame.
Marvel's Avengers. Yeah, well, yeah, for real. It was Marvel's Avengers that soured me from anything superhero, really.
Okay, that's fair.
Actually, you know what? If I wrap that back, way back, it was more like Spider-Man 3 that threw me off of anything Marvel altogether. So thanks, Raimi.
Well, we were invited to a Square Enix preview event for Guardians of the Galaxy, so I was able to get in there, get hands on early, and I was actually rather impressed. Got the code for the game for review, and then I was really, really impressed. Like, this is, dude, it's a solid game. It's a fun game. It has that Guardians of the Galaxy banter, which I think is you need to have within the game. I thought it was really good. My only thing was I'm playing, and then I'm waiting for the credits, and then it goes into more game. I was like, okay, we're not quite done here. And then it went again, and then it went again, and then I was like, man, I should have seen credits like 5 times ago. It was one of those. I can't believe it's still going, but it was really good. I had a blast. And I want the sequel. Funny. I definitely look forward to the sequel, dude.
You say that. I think of Control. Control did that to me at least 3 or 4 times. And then I discovered it actually goes on endlessly, but there was real game-ending moments that just didn't end.
That's cool. Speaking of something that's not ending, Scott, it's Elden Ring reaches new milestone. Outsells Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice combined. Maybe this is what I was reading this morning, man. I might got mixed up a little bit. I'm like, I saw something you got. Yeah, either way. 17.5 million and counting.
If only it had a storyline.
I know. I tell you, From Software hasn't got a clue what they're doing.
Making fun of you.
This is Eddie McCooch over at GameSpot. From Software's RPG, Elden Ring has reached a big new sales milestone. The blockbuster game has sold 17.5 million copies. Publisher Bandai Namco confirmed in a recent investor report. Eurogamer reports that the publisher disclosed the figure as part of the Q&A. This counts copies sold through September 30th around the world. Elden Ring had sold 16.6 million copies as of June 30th, so the game has added about 900,000 in sales in the past 3 months, outbeating Dark Souls and Sekiro combined. Scott?
See, that's a surprise to me, because Dark Souls 3 was very big. Nowhere near what Dark Souls 1 was, but
sure.
And Sekiro is on the low end of that. from my understanding.
Yeah,
But the two of them together is still big numbers. So to see Elden Ring past that, it's a surprise, but it's no surprise at all because Elden Ring is really just the most commercially viable FromSoft game there ever was.
absolutely. It took the world by storm. It's a huge success. So I'm not really surprised, dude. I'm so excited for the Game Awards. I really want to see how many awards that Elden Ring will take away from. We talked about this yesterday in the show that there's a battle here between God of War and Elden Ring for Game of the Year. Dude, Elden
we
Ring,
may have to just have a boxing ring set up there and let them figure it out.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the final deciding vote because Elden Ring definitely deserves it, right? Like it's just one of those things. It's yeah.
Imagine being in that
curious.
jury.
No thanks. Like the screaming matches, dude. The screaming matches will be going on. I just couldn't imagine being a part of that discussion. It'd be super cool. Yeah, love to be a fly in the wall to see how that goes down. Dude, speaking of Crystal Dynamics on the show today, Legacy of Kain, Crystal Dynamics says it hears fans loud and clear. They posted a survey. I believe I actually took part on that survey. Tom Ivan over at VGC has this to say. Crystal Dynamics has said it received an overwhelming response to a recent survey designed to gauge interest in a potential Legacy of Kain revival. In October, the company launched a questionnaire asking players what they'd like to see should the classic Gothic Vampire series make a comeback. Dude, what a comeback that could be. On Thursday, the developer... Go ahead.
I have not played Legacy of Kain, but the idea of a Gothic Vampire reminds me of Blood Rain. Can we get Blood Rain back in a good form?
Yeah, it's called Legacy of Kain. On Thursday, the developer claims such surveys usually received a few thousand responses, but Legacy of Kain one received more than 100,000 responses, Scott. 100,000 responses for Legacy of Kain. Dude, okay, first of all, I know I'm old, and I played this back in the day, and we loved this, man. Me and my brother. We had a great time.
How far back are you going here? Because you're not actually that old. I like to make jokes, but you're not.
Well, thank you. I am 43 years old, so I guess I grew. Here's the thing: when games were stereotyped as you're in mom and dad's basement, I was that stereotype, and I wasn't. Okay, right? But we've seen the evolution of games, so I've been there from day one with games. Dude, I go all the way back to Clico. My parents were gamers. I grew up in a house that we loved games. My parents would play till 2, 3 in the morning and then go to work. Like it was awesome. So I remember
magical to me.
Dude,
I never had that.
It was super cool. I'm very fortunate. My parents, they just love video games, and that's kind of how I got into this, and this is what we're doing now. But I remember sitting down with my dad and we were playing baseball back in Coleco. Dude, it's just these boxes and like a little almost looks like a jagged sword. And that's what you're hitting the baseball with. It was so cool. Yeah, back in the day. And then
when games required a little bit of imagination to paint properly.
Yeah, dude, Dungeons and Dragons back in the day, you were literally a block and you would go through the bottom. I'll never forget it. So the room itself was just this little box, right? And it had an entry in it, but you would scroll across the bottom and then boop, it would pop in the other room, and then you pop into the room and sometimes there was a key or a dragon in there. Dude, it was sick. It was so good. I'd hate to play it now, but either way, let's get back to the article. We wanted to gain a community perspective on what players are looking for should we revisit the land of Norse god and our iconic IP, Legacy of Kain. Crystal Dynamics and IDOS CEO Phil Rogers said during parent company Embracer Group's earnings calls, in the past, we found the surveys typically get between 1,000 to 3,000 responses, but when we asked folks about Legacy of Kain, we received over 100,000 responses. 73,000 gamers completed it entirely, and if you are one of them, we thank you very much, and we appreciate it. It was quite an effort given the survey was pretty extensive. Dude, it was long. So this, man, we have to get this. I think at this point they've seen it, the writing's there on the wall, it is coming. Now it's a matter of what will it look like, when will we get it? And dude, they gotta start somewhere, but we're 7 years out from probably seeing this.
Yeah, that's a long time, but at least they've gotten the message. They poked around, asked, and got a very strong response. There's a lot of different developers that I would very much like them to do the same.
No, absolutely. Scott, I think we ran a little long today, like we sometimes do. Let's get into what games are out today, my friend.
We have Nova Lands, Amelia's Mission on PC, Terror of Hemosaurus on PC, Mars Base again on PC, Potionomics, I'm very curious about that one myself, on PC, The Shadow Government Simulator on PC, that makes me scared, Crisis Remastered Trilogy makes its way over to PC now, and Norco is on the PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, and it is on Game Pass as well.
That's right. And that'll wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, where you can join us live every day, Monday to Friday, over on twitch.tv/theofficial ITG, as well as YouTube. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew. That's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.